Hello again. Today I'm gonna take a look at some of the issues of the phone that people were worrying about, like the battery cover, keypad, whatnot. And the first thing I'll do is the battery cover, which 3 people have already asked me for. The battery cover is in fact a pain to get off. Um, there's a lot of ways you can do this, but the first way that most people would have found is try to dig their nails into this narrow gap here. This is kind of hard for people like me because I have really short nails. Um, that time it worked pretty well, but other times it's really hard to do. Um, the other method to do it, one of our commenters mentioned this, is to push up on the slide like this. But as you can see, if you have greasy hands, or if it's a humid day like today in New York, this isn't really going to work. So if you have really dry hands, this will work. If not, it's not going to work. The easiest way of doing this that I would recommend is to use the Sony Ericsson branding right here. Grab on the N, Sony Ericsson, here, that's the right orientation. Grab on the end, just pull. Voila. So that's pretty easy. One method that I would strongly advise you not to do is trying to pull on this logo, the Sony Ericsson brand logo, the little green thing. I did that and I thought it was pretty easy to do, but then I realized it's not good because I ripped this thing off and I kind of need to super glue this back, and that was not a very pleasant experience. The other thing is the construction of the phone. There's 2 flimsy parts. As you may have noticed, there's a weird curve at the end of the phone, and this is mainly because there's the antenna stored in here, and it's probably they wanted to keep the antenna out of the way when you're making a call and you have the phone up to your face. So, the white plastic part that's on top of this little curve thingy is very flimsy. I don't know if you can hear it, but every time I press on it, it gives a very bad creak. So I don't know if this is just my model or if it's a widespread issue, but it gets pretty annoying when you're trying to text like this and you have your fingers supporting this sometimes, and it makes it creak. It doesn't feel very solid for a phone that's $250. And the one thing that's now fixed, but the slide, as with any slider phone, is pretty flimsy. And when I first got the phone, the slide was not very well attached to the bottom of the phone, because every time I pressed down on the slide without pressing any buttons, it would give off a clicking feedback from the slide, and I would get confused because every time I even touched the slide here, it would feel like I was actually pressing a button and nothing happened to the phone. So yeah, it was pretty confusing at first to use the phone with that false click from the slide, but after about a week it got really annoying, so I just grabbed the phone really tight for a couple minutes, maybe every other day for about a week, and it's fixed now. It's a lot tighter. These are probably just issues with my phone, but don't expect this slider phone to have like the build quality of a N95 or something like that. The slide, of course, it's a very small and slim phone, so build quality has to be compromised in some way. But as to enjoying the phone and everything, it's definitely not a problem. I've dropped this on concrete floors from 4 feet, and I got a little scratch like on the bottom here somewhere. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, so those were just some of the things I wanted to point out. The other thing is the internet browser on the Sony Ericsson. The default one is not very good. It takes twice as long to get to NewYorkTimes.com than it does on Opera Mini. So it takes twice as long, and also it probably costs more, because if it's taking long longer, that means it's loading more packets, which means more memory usage and more bullshit fees that your carrier attaches to your bill. Unless you have an unlimited data plan, although I doubt that because you wouldn't be getting this phone if you had an unlimited data plan. That's that. The last thing I want to talk about is the Walkman. As I mentioned before, the shake control gets a little buggy sometimes if you have the charger or a headset attached. Sometimes the accelerometer doesn't respond too well. Even if I shake it violently, it doesn't work. And the accelerometer is horizontally based, so if you shake the phone up and down, the shake control doesn't work. But if you shake it horizontally, it works. So it won't respond to vertical movements. And the other thing is the sound quality of the Walkman is very good when you have a volume level around medium like this. But as you turn up the volume, especially if you're in a noisy environment, even with those isolator headphones, the sound fluctuates and the distortion becomes excruciatingly bad. It's every time a track hits a bass note, the mids and the highs become severely washed out during that moment, and the sound becomes very unbearable to listen to. It becomes fluctuating. So 1 second when there's no bass note in the song, it's really loud and clear, and then when a bass note is introduced into the track, all of a sudden I can't even hear the singer's voice. All I hear is boom. And even if I turn down the bass like all the way down on the equalizer, I still get that sort of fluctuating sound. So the sound level changes rapidly during a song if you have it on high volume. So that was a very bad issue, and it was not isolated to, this issue was not isolated to the headphones. Rather, I connected this to my car stereo, I connected this to my shelf speakers, I tried all sorts of outputs, and the problem recurred in all the outputs. So sound quality deteriorates as you get to higher volumes. So distortion is not very good. I mean, this distortion rate is really high. So that's that. I don't have much else to say about the phone. It's those are just nitpicking, really. So if you're even watching this review right now, obviously you're very interested in the phone, and those are all nitpicking. And everything I said right now shouldn't really discourage you from getting this phone, because it is in fact excellent. I couldn't name a better music phone device that at this price point. And although it is a little late, it would still make a great gift for anyone, from Great Late Gift. Yeah, so thanks for watching.